Because it decided to change the thing you hate. Church intro video. Church intro video. There we go. Church intro video. My headset wasn't working there for the first few seconds. It'll be interesting to see. Say your stuff again? Yeah, your stuff's not working either. Let's try that again.
My stuff's not working either?
There you go. There we go. Now we're both. Now they can hear us both.
Intro video.
Yeah, church intro video. Now, where are you gonna sit so we can test your microphone beforehand?
Yeah, I'm gonna sit right here.
You're gonna sit right there?
Yep, right
And
here.
that's where the microphone's gonna be?
And that's where the microphone's gonna be, yep.
Okay, we're gonna turn it up a little bit.
Right here.
Up a little bit.
In your poopy bottom on Twitch says hello there. Hello, senior. Going well, how are you?
Hello, Poopy Bottom.
I called them senior, you called them poopy bottom.
I did.
I got like a sinus infection going on, so I've been doing a lot of sleeping. Matter of fact, I should open up my nasal cavity before we go any further. And Twitch. That brain on Twitch says vroom vroom. She's currently headed to the store. I guess she's looking at it.
She should not be typing. Hopefully one of the children typed that.
Typing. Well, she's probably still in the driveway. Miranda just came in here a second ago.
Oh.
Ernest with a T.
No, that's not. No,
I don't think I know an Ernest.
that's not what that. It's not what that means.
It says it's me, it's Ernest, and then T.
Ernest T.
Ernest T.
Do you not remember Ernest T from the forever ago? The 90s? The guy who had like Ernest Goes to Camp and Ernest, all the Ernest movies. Do you not remember those?
Ernest P. Worrell?
Oh, maybe so. I don't know an Ernest T then. I thought it was Ernest T, not Ernest P. I don't know, man. I don't know. Hey Biggs.
Hi, Biggs.
Hey Zadie.
So Rain is here.
Rain.
On the Discord native.
I think she might be downstairs with several other people. Several people are in my living room right now.
And your poopy bottom did that squid emoji thing that just showed up as squid 1, squid 2, squid 3, squid 4 on my screen.
Grayson's here.
Grayson's here. What's up, Grayson? Yes, sir.
Biggs said he didn't have purity milk, which I'm afraid for what he means by that.
Zadie says Pogbo. Is that a thing as well, or?
It is. It's looks like a wavy person. I gotta get real close to see it. I'm not sure what it is.
Big says Ernest. I guess Big no poopy bottom?
I don't know.
Bleed purple, is that another emoji over on Twitch?
Bleeding heart.
TJ Sugar.
It's a thing of sugar.
Zadie says something looks like a piranha.
Zadie put a piranha on there. Yeah. Did the commercials. Biggs, I'm confused, homie. But I guess it's a form of some milk company. Pure milk, I guess. It's a raccoon emoji. Yeah. Ernest T did the commercials for Purity milk.
Purity milk.
I guess.
Isn't that milk that like they put in extra protein or something?
I don't know, man. You have to ask Biggs. Biggs knows what he's talking about. I don't.
Or I'd have to ask Poopy Bottom. He's the one that said it, right?
No, Biggs talked about Purity milk. 3, 2, 1, and then the buttons. Look who's the big face.
I'm the
Not
big
me.
face. Hello and welcome to Season 3, Episode 100 Woo-hoo! Of the Berean Manifesto. Faith, hope, and love for the modern Christian. I'm Pastor Bill, and I'm joined, as always, by Pastor Nooms.
Nope.
Oh, other corner, Pastor
Yep.
Nooms. Over here. See, when I'm looking at the screen,
Yep.
you know, you're over here.
Because everything's flipped.
Oh, wait. Nope, you're over here.
Uh-huh.
Where did Bill's hair go? What do you mean? Where did my hair go? My hair's right here.
So,
When
you're sitting the way you're sitting, we can't see the top of your head.
Yeah, I don't know why. I guess if I move way back.
Now you're going to have to move the microphone, probably.
The wall.
You can't move your camera up because of your thingies, right?
Yeah, there's stuff. you see the clips holding this.
Yeah.
This drop cloth and stuff like that. But anyway. Yeah. So, episode 100 of season 3. We're wrapping up season 3 tonight.
Yeah. It's the end of season 3. I think that means we each have to do 4 cards, right? Isn't that what that means?
Oh my gosh, no. Please no. So we started this podcast in 2017.
Well, you started this podcast in 17.
Well, yeah, I would release an episode and then we would talk about it in our live meeting. You know, we would talk about the episodes. And back then I was actually doing an episode a day for a while.
That was painful.
Too much. There was too much to do, too much to talk about. And so we went to 1 episode a week. And here we are now. We did 100 episodes on season 1, 100 episodes on season 2, and now 100 episodes on season 3. And then we had that one Easter set. Hold on, let me turn off the baby one. We had that one Easter set where I did a whole week of episodes where I typed them episode, I don't know, season 1, episode 65.1.2.3.4 for the whole week. So, so we're past 300 episodes.
Yep.
For sure. But here we are. So, yeah. So tonight we're gonna. I sound too far away. Let me move my mic a little bit more. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, I'll turn you up a little more.
Far away now.
I turned you up a little too. I tried to fix it beforehand, but I guess I did not fix it.
Okay, my bad. Sorry, Zadie. We didn't mean to not have good microphone settings before we started.
Plus, your sinus infection makes it sound like you're far away, even though I can hear you clearly. You sound like you're talking
with my brain, with my face
from way back here, all the way through all of your nasal cavities. Don't do that.
I've been doing a lot of sleeping, trying to catch up to make the sinus infection better. Yeah, last time I was sick with the flu, and that knocked me out 100% for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. And then this time I know it's a sinus infection. I can just feel it, you know. And then when my immune system tries to fight something, it affects my whole body. My whole body starts to act like I've got a fever, even when I don't have a fever. So I get all the aches and the pains and that weird stuff. So, and then I'm so susceptible to medicines. So I started taking acetaminophen and ibuprofen because that's a really good mixture, you know. But then I'm so susceptible to medications that,
you went night-night for a while?
Well, I sleep in the nude, right? And
that's too much information, but thank you.
Well, hold on. This morning, I remember hearing the puppy whining. I remember looking out the window and seeing there was sunlight, and I remember looking at my phone seeing it was 7:33. And then the next thing I knew, I was sitting on the couch fully dressed, and it was several hours later. I had an unopened monster sitting next to me, and I was holding the puppy, and I was like, I think I took too much acetaminophen and ibuprofen. Because I have no idea how I got out here, and I don't remember putting on clothes.
Well, at
So at least
least
I put on clothes before I went into the living room.
exactly. At least you did the right steps, and you didn't
Mm,
just, you
yeah,
do live in
I
the
didn't just walk up.
country, but
But I do have children.
right. So you don't want to be standing out
Um,
on your porch with your grandma across the street waving, just everything waving.
yeah.
Just
So maybe I need to dial back just a bit on the acetaminophen and ibuprofen mixture because I'm pretty susceptible to
you are.
medication. That did a number.
You are. Where's that wooden box? Um. There
This
it
wooden box,
is. That box. Yep. The box you have no recollection of actually purchasing?
the box I have no red, but you were there, you remember
I
it.
do
So
remember it.
at least there I have
I fully
some
remember it.
evidence of what happened
I
because
was like,
you were there.
let me show you this cool little shop that I go to that you've never been to. And then next thing I know, it's the next day and you're going, where'd this box come from?
This is where I keep all the love notes my wife wrote me while we were dating.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, in that box right there.
Oh, don't put it there. Then we can't see Jesse.
Your face is covering that whole part of my desk, so they can't see Jesse anyway.
Oh, yeah. We'll still move it slightly over because I can't see Jesse.
Okay, I'll move it over for you.
Thank you.
I'll move it for you so you can see Jesse.
Selfish, but hey, deal with it, y'all.
I keep three pictures of people in my bedroom. I keep Jesse, my father-in-law. I keep a picture of my grandmother right up there, and I keep a picture of my mom over there. And that's it. That's all I got
Mm-hmm.
as far as pictures. Um. Anyway, yeah. So, how was your week, Pastor Mims?
What was this week? Um, I worked 4 days. And then part of the fifth day, but we were technically closed as a company. Um,
You guys
and
closed for Veterans Day?
we did. We were. Yep.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, and um, I'm trying to think what else I did. I haven't been playing much games. I've been very, very tired post work and haven't really done much of anything.
Hmm.
So,
Well, I can't play games right now, so
uh-huh.
there's that.
Do we have an ETA on your computer?
No, they sent me a list of parts they wanted me to buy, and then they're gonna do the labor putting it all together. But I have to go get the parts. So
Amazon is your friend.
yeah, they sent me Amazon links.
Or I could send you
Um,
a different link to another company that can actually compare. It's called PC Part Picker. It's what we typically
PC
use.
part picker.
It's what I typically use for all of my computer building um, aspects, and then I uh, buy the parts and build them.
Imagine if your name was Peter Piper and you worked for a PC company called Part Picker.
Why do you make me wonder why
Right.
we're friends? Why do
So
you
my week
why do you do that?
was, this nonsense,
Uh huh.
this infection nonsense. The puppy's doing great, driving me nuts. At night, wanting to go out. That's expected when you're housebreaking a puppy. Um,
Better
I
him
guess
waking you up than him not waking you up. Her.
yeah,
Her.
we've
Right.
got her. Yeah, her.
Her.
We've got her in this kennel. At night, and she doesn't absolutely hate it, so that's good. Um, During the day the other day, it was the middle of the day, and she wanted to go out, and instead of going to the door because she hasn't quite figured that out yet, she went to her kennel and got into her kennel and started yapping. And when I went over there, she started doing tappy toes. And I put the collar, her, the thing on her. When we
Uh-huh.
went outside, and she went to use the restroom. She went to the kennel to let me know she needed to go outside. So that was kind of funny.
That's fine. Kaiju, all of her 65-pound gloriousness. Everyone can be downstairs on the couch watching a TV. Both her mamas. So my sister and my wife downstairs on the couch watching something. She will
Uh
come upstairs and bark at me.
huh.
And it's like, what do you need? And she has me go to the stairs and yell down, "Someone please let Kai out." And she'll go out.
Yeah.
Um, as opposed to just telling them. So puppies are weird. Um, I thought that would change when I moved my office upstairs.
Uh huh.
Because she used to do it when my office was downstairs. I thought it would change. It hasn't. She still
No,
comes and
she's
tells
just like,
me,
no, I'm just gonna go find you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, which is really funny. She does the same thing when both me and her mom, my sister, who we both Heather lives upstairs, and she will come into my office from the bedroom to tell me she needs to go out. And it's like,
You're like, you were just in the bedroom with a human being.
yeah, yeah. Why does Daddy have to be the one? Um, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Time for getting to know the
Here
pastors.
we go. My favorite segment
You ready? Your favorite segment in the whole wide world.
with my most hated cards.
What's the cheesiest movie moment or line you can think of?
Um, I can't think of the one that I'm saying. I can't say the one I'm thinking of, so I'm trying to think of another one. Um,
The question was, what's the cheesiest movie moment or line you can think of?
um, I can't think of one. I'm not doing well thinking.
So
Um,
what pops into my head immediately, without doing much searching or trying to think about it, would be the anal butt monkey from Bruce Almighty. Um,
I don't
that's some super cheesy stuff right there.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that? It's the gangsters, and they're like, "We're gonna mess you up, Vato," and he's like, "Yeah,
I don't remember that.
anal,
Zadie
anal
says,
butt
"If
monkey."
you're a bird, I'm a bird," which I have no idea what that's from.
Me either.
Um, Phoenix says, "You had me at hello." That one is pretty cheesy. Um, oh, it's from The Notebook. That's a movie. Um, we don't need no badges from
Badges.
Biggs. That
We
works.
don't need no stinking badges.
Um, I can think of one, and I'm just gonna say part of it, and it's just ding dong, and that's all I'm gonna say. Like a doorbell ding
No.
dong. Um,
Or the Joker from the 1980s Batman movie. What this town needs is a good enema.
that's a something. I don't know if that's cheesy. Yeah, I can't think of anything real cheesy. I'm not doing well thinking of cheesy
You're not
movie
doing well.
lines.
Should we pull another card?
I
Or?
think we should.
Okay. Okay. Would you rather have unlimited sushi for life or unlimited tacos for life?
Tacos. That's a stupid question.
Really? Tacos.
I don't like sushi. It's uncooked. Most of it.
I love sushi.
Now, the thing about it, it's a valid question because with sushi, there's a lot of different kinds. There's
Yeah.
so many, and same with tacos. There's a lot of different kinds of tacos. And so with the sushi or the tacos, you could have arguably not the same meal every day, even though it's all you can eat. Um,
And technically, you could have sushi taco because sushi is just a word that means with rice.
yes, Senor Poopy Bottom, there is cooked sushi. I I haven't had any. I am not a sushi person. My daughter is a sushi person. Biggs eats sushi. Um, there's a place we go here where Biggs um shares sushi with my daughter when we go there. There's a hibachi place that also does sushi pretty good. Um, so, but yeah, that's I'd say tacos though. So would you actually say sushi over tacos?
Yeah, I would actually choose sushi. Um,
It's weird.
I guess I've had enough tacos in my life that I would choose sushi. Unless it's just that sushi they sell at Walmart from that really awful brand that Walmart went with, where the rice literally tastes like cardboard. Um, and then I guess I would choose tacos. Pastor Nooms walked away.
I'm sorry, I had to. I had to walk away. For anyone to say a blasphemous statement like I've had too many tacos in my life, I just I can't even fathom. I've had too many tacos in my life. I just I I don't think you've ever said anything that has offended me as greatly as I've had too many tacos in my life. Um like I've never ever been like I think I'm legitimately offended. We've had full-on
Wow.
arguments on here about deep religious comments, and the thing I think that has offended me the most is
Is my statement about taco intake.
I've had too many tacos. Um, whew. We might have just lost all of our viewers over that one. I think everyone else has left us now because you've had too many tacos. Um, no, I'm just joking. That just it hurt. But I
Why are
get
you
it.
being so mean to me?
I get it. Um, I understand because I mean you've had a lot of tacos. I get that. It
I mean,
just
I grew up in Texas, and there's
that
a when you live in a small town where one of the only fast food options is a Taco Bell,
those aren't tacos.
you eat there a lot.
Those aren't
They're
tacos.
tacos.
No, those aren't tacos. Those
Okay, let
are
me let me let me reiterate the question. If you could only have Jack in the Box deep fried tacos or sushi for the rest of your life,
sushi because I won't
which
eat
would
Jack
you
in the Box
choose?
deep fried tacos.
Right, because that's nasty. That ain't taco.
Well, there are people who love those, but no, at that point I would have to force myself to eat sushi I don't like. Which here's the funny thing about sushi. Here's the
I
reason
don't understand how anybody eats Jack in the Box. That's just dog food.
you got to be really high. Anyway, the I mean they leaned into it. When you have a meal called the munchie meal, you just you know who your target audience is. It's just
You
one of
know who
those
your
things.
target audience is. Yeah.
Um, so the thing about sushi that I don't like, here's the really funny part. Everything that's in sushi I like, right? But with sushi, it's all touching. And I don't like that
So
necessarily.
it's all touching in tacos as well.
That's the funny thing that I was gonna. That's the paradox that I was just gonna say is the reason I don't like sushi is it's everything rolled up in it. But I love burritos. I love tacos. Like we're just contemplating whether or not we're gonna make tamales for Christmas or not. And we were at the store today, and Zadie was like, "Should we make tamales this year?" And I'm like, "I think we should." So we're probably gonna make tamales this year for Christmas. But
But can we both agree that Chicago deep dish pizza is actually just marinara soup?
no, I don't
No?
like chunky marinara as my pizza sauce. I don't like Chicago style pizza, even though I was, you know,
There's
born.
this video going around on TikTok of a Chicago style deep dish being made, and they cut it and they go to pick up the piece of pizza, and all the marinara sauce just falls off into the pizza, and they just have this thin piece of crust and some cheese, and they're like, "Oh, that looks delicious. That's amazing. I love that." And I was like, "You need a spoon to eat that. That is not pizza."
And that is not deep dish. That is not deep dish. Um, yeah, that's not deep dish pizza either. No, that's that's something else. That's Yeah, I think Biggs is gonna start. I think I actually heard him scream from across town, and I think I heard my mother gasp from in the same household. Um, as Biggs types, that is not Chicago pizza. Um, being
Now they're on my
from
TikTok talking about,
Chicago.
this is the
Um,
best Chicago deep dish pizza you can buy. This is
yeah,
amazing.
that's a
I've been
parody
there and
account.
had it. It's amazing.
Blasphemy. Um, the internet disagreed with you so much you froze there for a second. Even the internet was like, "No, we gotta make him be quiet. He's gotta quit." Big says that's fake
It's
news.
fake news. That's fake news. Fake
um,
news.
there is a place that Biggs enjoyed in downtown Fort Worth. Um, Duos.
There's an Uno's, yeah.
Yeah,
I
Biggs
don't I
enjoyed
don't know
that
of a
place.
Duo's.
Um,
Okay.
um, so maybe you should go there and try it. Um,
All right.
anyway,
So to wrap up season 3, we're looking back.
yep, all the way back.
At season 3.
Oh, not all the way back.
Not
Okay.
not quite 2 years worth of content, but
No, it's over 2 years
close.
worth of content. Episode 1 for season 3 was in October of 2020.
Was it really?
Uh huh.
Okay.
Because you got to
So
think, we
just
got
over 2 years
52
of
weeks a
content.
year, and we skipped a bunch of weeks because I'm a bad person.
All right. So Nooms picked his favorite episodes for the season, and I was supposed to do the same thing, but then this whole thing, and I just slept.
Yeah, you did.
So I went through his list, and
So,
I picked out my 4 favorites from his list.
oh, was I only supposed to pick 4?
No, I didn't give you a number.
Oh, okay.
That's what I picked out my favorite 4.
All right. Do you want to talk about your favorite 4 first?
No.
Okay. So let's go in order backwards. What do you think? Or do you want to go in order forwards?
I don't know what you mean by backwards or forwards.
Do you want me to
Depending
start
on
with
where you're starting
91?
from.
Or do you want me to start with 1?
We should start with 1.
Okay. So episode 1 of season 3, I listed as my favorite because it's where we talked about Halloween. Now, we've talked about Halloween several times. We actually talked about Halloween twice in this series, in this season. But this one was one that you shared some of your Halloween thoughts from the past, and like the reason why we exchange Halloween cards, which is a really funny situation because when I say exchange Halloween cards, what I mean is Billiam sends me a Halloween card every year, except for
Except
this
for
year,
this year?
which he did not mail me a Halloween card, But I was in Texas, and so I gave him a Halloween card, not
So
knowing
there was still an exchange of Halloween
that
cards.
he didn't get me one, which is just humorous.
Yeah, it is.
But one of the big takeaways from that episode overall was to not be fearful of things that are not understood or not known by you and those types of things. Um, and that was one of the big takeaways. Um, what do you want to say about that episode?
Um, no, yeah, the big takeaway there is absolutely right. Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean you have to fear it. You should be grasping a hold of what you do understand. And as a Christian, what you do understand is that um, the light has won, God has won, the darkness has lost.
Mm-hmm.
You should be embracing that instead of freaking out that, oh my gosh, a new Hocus Pocus movie came out. Um, and
Let's just lean on the understanding that it wasn't as good as
cause
the
a
first.
ruckus.
Um, and that's what we should be worried
Actually,
about. You did not enjoy it more.
will you let me talk?
No.
I understand what
Not
you're
after your taco
saying.
comment earlier.
Listen to me. I understand what you're saying, but my kids, the 8-year-old and the 3-year-old, had zero interest in Hocus Pocus after seeing Hocus Pocus 1. But then when they saw Hocus Pocus 2, they were like, oh my gosh, these are the best 2 movies ever. And they wanted to rewatch Hocus Pocus 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. But it wasn't until they saw 2 that it really spoke to their worldview, you know?
I I I will accept your premise, and we'll move on from there.
Cool.
Um, so the next one I picked was episode 13. Episode 13 was entitled "The Berean Lifestyle," and I I loved the discussion that we had around the Berean lifestyle because this is called the Berean Manifesto. We talk about Bereans a lot. We've talked about the Bereans a bunch. But in that episode, we really dug into what that means and those types of things. And as Biggs just said on Twitch, it did leave it wide open for next year. I'm pretty sure they're going to do a Disney Channel spin-off or something with the 3 new girls or something, but that's fine.
Like a
Um,
TV show?
yeah, that's what I think. I think they're going to lean into a TV show, and I'm okay with that. But I loved the discussion that we had around the Berean lifestyle and why we do it and what it truly means. Um, so yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. So then
Yeah, I
episode.
mean,
Go ahead.
it's really important to me, the whole Berean lifestyle issue,
Is it?
obviously. Um, since I named the whole podcast after it, you know? And so anytime where we get to really just dive into, well, what does that mean and what are the implications and why do we choose that? Um, it's really a good time for me and a good time for me to um, express a lot of the way I see that life should be lived. But then, like we were talking about last week, we're just kind of preaching to the choir at this point.
Um, that we could talk about that in a minute, but yeah, I I, I was a little saddened in looking over the last year statistically. Um, but we can talk about that later when we do a wrap up at the end. Okay,
Ote.
the next one I skipped to episode 39, so I skipped like half a
Yes.
year, and it was called Progressive quotation mark line quotation mark dot dot dot, right? And what
Right.
we talked about in that episode was around the deconstruction movement, things that we saw, things that we knew, and the fact that deconstruction overall isn't bad, and it's actually good for um, the church as a whole, for lots of reasons. And it was a good conversation and an interesting um, time of discussion.
Right. This is the first one of your list that I was like, yes, that was one of my favorites. Um, and for two reasons. This is one of my favorites for two reasons. One is um, what you were just saying. Deconstruction is actually, to me, an essential part of any Christian's walk, because the defining factor that makes you a Christian versus not a Christian is that you believe in your heart and confess with your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And if you never actually do a deep dive into what it is that you're doing, why it is that you're doing, what it is that you actually believe, then how can you be sure that you actually believe? Or were you coerced through emotion to recite a prayer, right? So we have so many people that they grew up thinking, oh yeah, I'm a Christian, I go to church, I serve in the church, and then years later they'll look back and they'll go, I never actually believed any of that. I thought I did, and I thought I was passionate about it. Or you'll get people to be like, oh yeah, I was a believer, but I'm not anymore. And that's just not how Christianity really works. If you ever were truly convinced, then you can't be unconvinced. It's once you understand the truth, it is the truth. Just that's how it works. And so there's that important part there is you don't want to get to the end of your life thinking I'm a believer, I'm going to go to heaven, I'm going to live eternity with God, whatever your, you know, idea of the afterlife is. And then you get to judgment, and Jesus says, I never knew you. Like Jesus said, it would happen with some of those pastors that would get there, and we cast out demons in your name, we healed the sick in your name, and Jesus, I never knew you.
Yeah.
Because I never actually believed, you know? You don't want to get there and have that moment. It'd be much better for you to understand that now, and then perhaps there's a chance for you to find salvation later and actually be convinced and have faith. And then that was number one, is that essential part of Christianity. And then number two is one of the things we talked about was that Christianity is social justice.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that, we see a lot in the evangelical culture about this. Well, woke is the wrong way. It's anti-Christian. Well, no. Christianity is social justice. Everything that Jesus did is defined as social justice. Everything that he commanded us to do is social justice. Everything the New Testament talks about that is the quintessential Christianity, that is social justice. So if you're looking out in the world and you're seeing these social justice things happening and you're like, I don't believe in that, that's communism or whatever, you need to take a step back, because Christianity is social justice. And if you're using it as a tool for something else, that's wrong. That's not what Christianity is. And so that's two reasons why I really liked that episode.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the next episode was episode 40. Real far jump from 39.
So far.
And it was called Defending the ... And the thing I loved about it was we're called to defend, and sometimes that's making a whip. Because the story that we used was, Jesus at the temple creating a whip, and it wasn't because he was mad because, just because they had turned his father's temple into, you know, a den of
Thieves.
capitalism. Um, but it was because they were taking advantage of people, and that's truly, you know, also a huge part of that, and that lends itself to that discussion we had before of, in a lot of ways that Jesus was very much for the people, and taking advantage of people is
Yeah.
bad.
Well, the equivalent, if you really want to, brass tacks it, the equivalent is imagine you went to church one day and in the lobby there's tables set up and there's people there that are they have this sales pitch of um you bills got you down, can't afford to pay your tithe this week, just come take out a loan,
Open up this
no
credit card.
problem. Open up this credit card and pay your tithe on this credit card, no
Yeah,
problem. Small low interest fee, it's fine, don't worry about the interest, you can handle it. That this is the
it really
equivalent of
is.
what was going on. And so it's like, excuse me? You're gonna see what now? Oh, you want to participate in the building fund, but you don't have any extra funds today? No problem. Just take out a loan. We'll apply that money to the building fund, and there you go. You've participated in the building fund, and you can just pay off the interest later. It's a win-win. We make a little bit of money off of loaning you money, and you get to participate in the building fund. It's great, right? This is the idea of what was going on, and that I think that would make me angry too. So
I think that would make most people angry. If that doesn't make you angry, I'm a little worried. I'm gonna be honest. All right, so then episode 43, what fear can teach us about faith, which is pretty evident from the title. Fear is not always bad; it's how you respond. Um, um, that's it for that one.
well, it's the same thing in like bravery. Bravery is not the absence of fear. Bravery is how you respond in the face of fear instead of letting fear win. Well, faith is not the absence of doubt. It's not the absence of fear. Faith is being surrounded by doubt and fear and going, you know what? These doubts and these fears are just fuel for my faith. And, pushing forward with what you believe is real, despite the lack of evidence for that or the evidence to the contrary. Um, so yeah.
hmm Then episode 69, Jesus went to hell, a topic that most doesn't isn't discussed a lot in modern churches. That's why I liked
It's
it.
really not.
Um,
It's really not because it doesn't fit the narrative, um, the evangelical narrative. That you live and then you die and you only have the choice while you're living, and um, it's hard to coerce people into being afraid of failing to find salvation when they're alive if you have to explain that there were a time when other people had a different option. And if this is all confusing you, then you should go back and listen to the episode. But basically, we talk about the where the New Testament talks about Jesus during that time after he died. He goes to hell and he preaches the gospel to those that are in captive in Sheol, those who had died before, so that they have access to the salvation as well. It's a really good concept, I think, because it answers this question. You get a lot of people who ask, well, what about if Jesus is the only way to heaven? If Jesus is the only way to God, what about all those people that lived before Jesus? Are they just doomed to hell forever? And well, that answer is in the Bible.
mhm.
It's there. And to deny that part of the basic theology that's in the Bible, because we've talked about that, the Bible is literally just basic theology. Um, to deny that denies some of the questions that people have. Why did that make you laugh?
It reminded me of a song, and I don't remember what band it was. I think I remember the band, but I don't want to missay the band and then have Biggs and Zeta yell at me, but the basic instructions before leaving Earth. It's all it's for. It's just
Yeah.
basic instructions. It's right there in the acronym. Um, and I want to say it was the Katinas that sang that, but I'm
No,
not 100% on that.
you're wrong.
I was. That's what I thought. Who was it?
Can't remember the name of the band, but it wasn't. It wasn't the Katinas.
No. Okay. I think I did that. Or I think I did that once before, and then had to look it up, and realized who it was. Um. All right. Next one.
Who was it that sang that?
Episode 71. Casting lots and hanging thoughts. So, and that's thoughts as in THOUGHT. For all of those out there who are understand internet references, we're not hanging thoughts.
Burlap to Cashmere.
Oh, burlap to cashmere. That's who it was. Thank you. Um, that's just a great title. It was a great title. It was very good on your part, and we had good discussion throughout that episode. It's parts that people don't talk about a lot. It's parts that casting lots is a very interesting thing, and so yeah, it was an interesting one.
Casting lots being something that you still do.
I do. That is
I
true.
do it from time to time, but
I mean, I do it right here. I mean, I've got my dice tray right here.
yeah.
I play D&D with it, but these three I use to help make decisions when I can't make a decision. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
so
when you flip a coin, when people flip a coin, like, should we go to Denny's or should we go to IHOP? Let's flip a coin. That's casting lots. You're casting lots.
my favorite time to use it is should I do this or should I do that? And it's always
Mm-hmm.
I don't use it for big decisions, of course, but I use it for things like should I take a nap or should I play video games? Should I watch this movie or should I take a nap? Should I Actually, usually it's if I should take a nap or not. Should I do whatever the family wants me to do or should I take a nap? It really is around my nap time. Let's I think like 90% of the time it's if I should take a nap or not. Now that I start thinking about it.
Should I take a nap or not?
I don't like sleeping, but I need it a lot cuz I hurt a lot and sleeping helps move that time along.
Yeah. And as far as casting lots, the Old Testament law actually lays out casting lots as one of the ways to determine what God's will for something is. So it's not witchcraft, it's not wizardry, it's not, whatever. It's actually laid out in the Old Testament as a way for the followers of the Lord to determine what is God's will for something.
Mhm.
All right.
Um
Season 3 EP 72.
72. Aren't they Galileans? So I wrote this. It doesn't have anything to do with what the actual conversation was about, but I wrote the comment. Insults can be a good thing, um, and it's not. That's not what the thing was about at all. But I thought it was clever, so that's what I wrote. I liked the conversation because it really showed um, that the term when it's used in that verse, it is an insult. Like, aren't these guys just fishermen? Aren't these guys
Right.
just idiots? Aren't these guys just those guys that are uneducated? Like, how are they talking like this? How do they have this understanding? The important part around that is, of course, that it's the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
So,
It's the same concept of when Jesus went into the temple and it was his day to speak, and he chose a scroll and he read from Isaiah about um, the time when the Lord would come to open the eyes of the blind and open the ears of the deaf, and to declare the year of the Lord. – And the reaction of the crowd wait, isn't this the carpenter's son? How can he even read the scroll? You know, it's that same concept. Um, something supernatural's happening that this idiot is able to do that.
Hmm.
And so it's this moment of when you're being underestimated, and it was at this point of um the day of Pentecost, and they're speaking in all these languages of all these people, and then they're talking about these deep level concepts, and the people are like, aren't these Galileans? Because they're hearing their accents. And in that episode, you were talking about it's similar to saying like, aren't these coal miners from that coal mining town? Aren't these fishermen from that fishing town? Like these guys aren't supposed to be rogue scholars. These guys are supposed to be idiots who are just good for the rough and tumble jobs. How are they saying these things?
Well, and isn't that the time that you said in the Texas accent the Spanish one of the Spanish phrases you know,
Yeah.
which is another great part.
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
Yeah, thank you. Um, that was another great point of that episode. Now I'm a little confused going into the next two
Okay.
because you said you have four that you really liked, and you said this is my first one. We're down to two, and you've never said this is one I
Oh,
also picked.
sorry. It was 39, 69, 71, and 72.
Okay. Okay. I was like, wait a second. Um, now, so this is one of the things I put in my personal notes down here. Um, of part of season three that I did not enjoy. Um, which towards the end of season three, I don't even remember how many episodes. I was the big face and I was leading it. Because Bill took a sabbatical. Um, and you can't trust it just by the image. I thought about that, but I think it's like one less than the image, maybe. Maybe. But um, I didn't like leading. um, so these last two are ones that I actually led. That I picked. Episode 87: Reasons Christians Should Not Celebrate Birthdays. And the reason why this was brought up is because I hate my birthday. I hate celebrating my birthday. I don't like celebrating Christmas. I don't like getting gifts. I don't think we should celebrate holidays because I don't like it. I love giving people gifts. I love giving people it. I don't like receiving, so I don't think we should celebrate birthdays because of that. Now, of course, that's crazy. You should go listen to the episode. It's funny. But the reason I picked it was because it's talking about why we should speak on things even if we don't like it. Like, the idea came to me because I was upset that we were celebrating my birthday, or about to. I can't remember which side it was on. Um, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I should talk about that. Let me find biblically. I know there's sects of Christianity that don't celebrate birthdays. Let me find why, and let me disprove the fact that we shouldn't do this. And, of course, there isn't valid scriptural evidence for it. So, I I didn't win the argument. But that's the point, is as people who are studying to have the conversations, um, we can't just talk about what we want. Sometimes we have to talk about hard topics that we don't enjoy because they're hard topics. And that's why I brought that one up. Um, and then episode 91, which was Is Salvation the End Goal? And the reason I brought that one up is that was the beginning of I think it was the beginning of us talking about discipleship. Um, and that was a good conversation. I think discipleship is extremely important, and so often, as Bill alluded to earlier, um, certain churches have um, pushed the narrative of salvation's the most important thing, and it is super important, but we're not commanded. The Great Commission is not go get people saved. It's go make disciples. We should be discipling. And so often we lose that in your big congregation style churches where not all, of course, not all. There are churches out there that have discipleship programs and small groups and are doing it correctly. But there is a lot, especially in the uh, 90s and aughts, that were just pushing for salvation numbers. And that doesn't help build the kingdom. It just builds people that sometimes then go and deconstruct because there wasn't actual belief there to begin with. Um,
Right.
and so those were my episodes that I chose that I liked a lot from the last 100 episodes in season 3. Also, I wrote, it was a very, very long 2 years. If you think about where we were in October of 2020 to now, oh my gosh, there's so much difference between those two time
So much
periods.
happened in that.
So much. Um, so much has happened in those 2 years.
With the birthdays thing, yeah, there's not really mention of celebrating birthdays in the Bible.
Only twice.
Yeah, what are they?
So you're a punk. So
Yes, I am.
it's twice. One is the celebration of the king that took John the Baptist's head. It was during that celebration that they took John the Baptist's head because he was like,
Uh-huh.
"I'm in a good mood," and his daughter, niece, someone, I don't have the scriptures pulled, so I don't want to missay it, but the female relative was like, "You should give me John the Baptist's head because you're in a good mood," and he was like, "Yeah, let's
His
do it."
niece / stepdaughter.
Yes, there you go. And the other one is one of the pharaohs back in somewhere. There's a discussion of a pharaoh's birthday. I don't remember where or when, but those are the two only. And so because of that, some people say you shouldn't celebrate your birthday, and in certain Jewish cultures,
Yeah.
certain, depending on which sect of Judaism, they don't.
The Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate birthdays.
They do not either. That is correct.
I believe the Greek Orthodox don't celebrate birthdays,
I don't know about that one.
but they do make great gyros.
Yes. I do miss the Greek festival.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's a lot of pagan stuff tied up in birthdays. The round cake and the candles being worship of Artemis.
I
The
use a
blowing
square
out the
sheet cake.
candles and what? Is
I
that why
said-
you get sheet cake instead of round cake?
I said I use a square sheet cake.
Yeah. The blowing out the candles and making a wish. The smoke is supposed to carry your wish up to Artemis so she can grant your wish. There's
That's just
all
insanitary.
these pagan things that. Right. My last birthday, because we're in the height of pandemic. Not my last birthday, the birthday before that. They lit the candles and I was like, bring the cake out, and they were like, no, don't blow on it. I was like, I'm not gonna blow on it. And they were like, why do you want us to light the candles? Like, because I'm gonna put the candles out. Well, no, you can't blow on it. I'm not gonna blow on it. So they got close and I did a thunderclap, and all the candles went out. It was great. I was like, Hulk smash, and did a thunderclap.
Nice. All right. So
All
what
right,
else
well, it's 7:30.
What else do you want to discuss in
No,
episode
we're good.
100? Episode 100.
We're good.
100.
Next week that's 300 technically. But yeah, next week we're gonna hit season 4, episode 1. So that'll be good. We're actually gonna spend most, if not all, of that episode in Genesis 1:1. So that'll be fun. Genesis 1:1 is most likely not what you think it is. And so we'll talk a little bit about Genesis as a whole, and then we'll be focusing on Genesis 1:1, and then we'll kind of see where we go from there for the rest of the season. I don't know. I doubt we'll be doing an exegesis from Genesis 1:1 through all of Scripture.
That would take
but
more
we're definitely
than...
going to talk about
That would take more than
100
episodes.
a season.
I think so.
Yeah. But we're definitely going to start in 1:1, and so yeah, it'll be a good time.
And if
this podcast comes out,
if we do that, we will definitely be combining a lot of chapters of Begots and not going chapter by chapter through stuff like that.
If we were going to do the Begots, we would talk about things of note that each name did. And any name that didn't do anything of note, we would definitely skip those. It'd be like, yeah, that guy didn't do anything, so we're going to skip that name. He was just a rung in the ladder. All right. This podcast comes out on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. anywhere that you get your podcasts. Why are you laughing, Pastor Nunes?
So last week, I was supposed to put it out, but they had maintenance on Sunday night. Remember, I was telling you?
Oh, so you did that.
So I didn't.
Yeah.
So it went out Thursday morning at like 9:15 in the morning when I realized I didn't put it out.
That's funny.
Sorry. So it made me giggle. My bad. Continue.
And then earlier today, you were like, did I never put out State of Theology Part 3?
I didn't. It doesn't look like I put it out anywhere.
That's funny.
Which was one I didn't want to record, so I must have been in a bad mood when we finished. Because it was heavy.
This podcast, when we remember to push it out live, comes out on roundabout Wednesday, sometimes Thursday or Friday or Saturday, sometimes Sunday right before we record the next live episode, or sometimes never, depending on how lazy we're feeling. So just follow us somewhere where you get podcasts. You'll get notified when we get around to dropping an episode. Or you could join us on Sunday evenings when we sometimes go live, because sometimes we don't if we're feeling sicker than I am right now. Or if we're having like a family holiday like Halloween, you know. Our app, Grayson asks, why does your app say gone fishing? I thought that's where you posted it. The Ecclesian House app has been defunct for at least 2 years, bro.
I'm not even sure how he found it.
He probably still had it downloaded from back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So join us live on Sunday evenings at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can go to ekk.house to find out which Twitch, what Facebook, and which YouTube we are live on those accounts. And we would love to have you here participating in the chat. You heard us talking back and forth to some people in the chat when we first started. The whole point of the chat is so that people can interact while we're having the theological discussions, being Berean and whatnot. So join us live, and we would love to have you here in our virtual studio. I'm in Texas. Pastor Nunes is in Tennessee. And yeah, we'd love to be face to face and serving food again like we used to in the past. That is not the season we're in. Now we're just serving spiritual food. Who wants spiritual seconds?
We could open up the chat early and eat on it.
We could, I guess.
I mean,
I could be here eating, and you could be there eating.
We both shove our faces right before we start.
You wanted you wanted to do that when we were going.
did.
When we were going to straight video, you were like, "Me and Tina can be at our table eating, and you could be eating where you are." And I was like, "Let's not eat on camera in front of people. That's not the same thing as here, have some food on the church. That's more like, you don't have food? Haha, we do." So yeah. All right. So we love you guys, and we hope you have a great week.
Stay safe out there.
Pastor Nooms just had a small focal seizure. And until next time. And now, because some of these platforms cause us to have a delay, we're going to have to do a 30-second buffer. And we had a little song that we sang. What are you pointing at the camera? What is that? Is it a wand?
Voldemort's wand.
Voldemort's wand. All right. And so now we're going to do the 30-second buffer song. 30-second buffer. 30-second buffer.
30-second buffer.
Has it been 30 seconds yet?
No, it's not how time works. The
Yeah,
little
that's not how
time
works.
does on the bottom of the screen. 30-second buffer.
Second buffer.
30-second buffer. 30-second buffer.
That's good enough.
Alright, I'll press the button.